Hello and welcome to the very first episode of the True Crime Podcast. My name is Leslie Antoine. I don't know why I just said my full name, but
Your government name,
I just said my
right?
government name. Yeah,
Yeah, people can stalk you.
technically it's not my government name. My government name is Leslie Antoine Jr. I just said my government name right now. Holy crap! Okay, I'm 17 years old, and the lovely lady next to me is my sister, Julie Paul. I just said her government name now. We're gonna get stalked now, Julie. You ready?
No, I'm not gonna get stalked. I don't have I don't have fans
How
yet.
do you know? Yet, exactly. You might have fans. After this episode, you might have fans. Anyways,
But anyways, you did have to introduce me because I can introduce myself.
I'm just
and
saying.
also I go by Ruby Jules and produce music. So let's get into it.
Let's get into this. Alright, this is our first time doing this. We're going to post this on YouTube. Please let us know any mistakes we're doing or any tips. This is our first time doing a podcast.
Any comments in general, just so we can improve each week. Say, hey, we like you when you do this and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Or any ideas we can add on to.
Okay.
Because you guys.
Yep. So, before we get into the case, Julie, I got to ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
I know how much you love sleeping.
Yes, I do.
Let's say you were sleeping and it's like the middle of the night and you wake up and you found this man looking into you.
See, I don't know because it's like I studied psychology too. Just it's like I don't know because it's a life. It can be fight or flight, or you just freeze. I either freeze or just assume it's just a dream. Oh, that's lyrical right there. But I should write that down. But no, off topic. Off topic. So, but it's like I don't know what I would react because like that situation never happened. If it not happened, there's a most likely chance I will cover myself under my blankets.
You cover yourself under your blanket.
Yes, to say
Ladies and gentlemen, you just heard that live. A 22-year-old would cover herself under the blanket if she saw a man looking at her while she's sleeping.
Yeah, because it's just a dream. It's just a dream. It's just a dream.
Anyway, what if I tell you that it wasn't a dream, that it actually is a man? Because that's what happened in 2005 in the town of Cape Elizabeth, Maine. This man, who was Caucasian in his mid-20s, he was a male, early 20s, so probably just like you, Julie, probably the same age as you. He went around Cape Elizabeth, Maine.
Hold on, pause. I'm not 25. I'm early 20s.
I said early 20s. I didn't say mid 20s. I said early 20s.
Okay, I was about to say.
Anyway, like I was saying, this man in Cape Elizabeth, Maine, he went around at night, go inside people's houses, and just look at them while they're sleeping. And now, some of you might be a bit scared. They're like, well, how the hell he got to the houses? Well, I'm going to tell you how the hell he got to the houses. You see, I guess in 2005, people of Cape Elizabeth, Maine, does not know that there's locks on their doors. So they don't lock their doors at night.
I mean, listen, hear me out.
Even like if this was today, our parents would be pissed at us if we don't lock the doors at night.
Yeah, they still yell at us when let's say I ordered something off of Amazon or whatever, and I didn't and I didn't lock the door. They get pissed off at us too, especially me, because age.
And you know what's funny? We don't even have a key. We don't have a house key. Like, our parents have the house key. We don't have the house key. So if we get locked out or something like that, we have to, and nobody's home, we're stuck outside until our parents come home.
Yep.
Just letting you guys know that.
Another thing too, I'm not trying to stay on their side. I understand because if you feel like the town is safe and nothing, and that's where certain things can happen. That certain things can linger. Like I always hear stories. I remember there was this past case. Remember, I don't know who was it, but there was this guy, the Axeman thing, who just entered people's houses.
Mm-hmm. No. Here's the thing. The people in Louisiana were smart enough to lock their doors. We're probably gonna talk about the Axeman in a later episode, so just let that sink in your head. I'm not gonna say how he entered because we might talk about it during a later episode. So I'll just let you know, people in Louisiana actually knew how to lock their doors, and this was 1919. Okay, just letting you know, this is 2005 we're talking about.
No.
The Axeman was 1919.
But it's like, let's say, Junior, do not say our town name. Let's say this town we live in. It's not that bad. Like it's pretty safe, right? You have to admit that.
Yeah, it sounds pretty safe. We had a lot of stupid shit before, but it's safe.
But it's pretty safe, so I'm not surprised that this town is safe and I can unlock my door and go to sleep. And then that's when they forget. Okay, bad stuff can happen. That's what happens.
Well, that's what happened in Cape Elizabeth in Maine.
Yeah,
this guy just came into their houses and just watched them sleep. But here's the interesting part about this: there was no sign of robbery, no injuries happened. It's just he came into people's houses and just watched them sleep.
That's weird and creepy.
Here's the funny part about this. The first victim apparently was half asleep when he saw him, and he didn't even knew if it was a dream or if it was real.
I told you that's what.
So he was, but here's the thing: he was half asleep. Like I'm saying, if you were fully asleep, okay. So this was going on between August, December, and February 2005 to 2006, and what's more interesting about this? What's interesting about this is that it just randomly stopped. Just stops randomly. It doesn't many people reported seeing this man to the police, and it just randomly just stops.
Was it in February?
In February. We'll get into that later.
Mm-hmm.
But so police are stumped. They have no idea who it was, and they're like, okay, we're basically just pulling at straws here. And the reason why I said they were pulling at straws here because there was these two unidentified victims of this what they call him the Cape Intruder. Mm-hmm. They named the suspect, and they both named the same. There were two different victims that named the same suspect. So they're literally grasping at straws right here. But unfortunately, they didn't have enough evidence to indict the suspect. Mm-hmm. So, with that being said, we have a Caucasian male in his early 20s roaming around Cape Elizabeth, Maine, looking for unlocked doors to enter their houses while you're sleeping, and just look at you.
It's fun.
It's kind of funny at the same time, though. But here's the thing too. Another thing. Every time people would chase after him, and then he just runs out of there.
I'm sorry, I can see.
He just runs out of there.
I can see. I don't know how to explain. It's like I can vision it as a random person, like you know how Peter Griffin runs away. That's how I vision. Yes, that's how I picture it. I don't know why.
But yeah. So and every time it feels like every time they try to attack the guy, he just like disappears out of thin air.
Yeah, dun, dun, dun.
Which leads to my theory, which is only two. I only have two theories because I was doing research on this case, and they didn't even have theories for me, so I had to come up with the theories. So my first theory is hallucination.
I agree with that.
It's hallucination. I can definitely see hallucination happening in Cape Elizabeth, where people were concerned. I think police showed a sketch. I mean, if this is a crime going on in Cape Elizabeth, Maine, you would think this would show up on the news, and people would probably see the sketch often, mm-hmm. and they would hallucinate him being there when he's actually not there. So it could be hallucination, but it doesn't really explain the first victim, I guess, seeing him. Mm-hmm. So I guess that's one reason. My second and final theory is that it was an inside job by none other than the police department.
Why would the police do that, though? It doesn't make sense.
Well, let's think about it, Julie. What I said at the beginning of the episode, Cape Elizabeth apparently doesn't know there's locks on their doors. Which literally means anyone can enter the house. A robber, a murderer, a rapist. Anyone can enter the house, even the police department. So they're like, hey, let's teach this town a lesson. Let's tell them to lock the fucking doors.
Wait, two things. What if this is all a metaphor? They did this on purpose for a metaphor. Just to show you that they're looking. The FBI is watching you.
The FBI is watching you guys.
They knowing their history.
They're probably watching us do this podcast right now.
Yeah.
Like who knows?
Also, I don't know why. If the police did that, that gave me like the white vibe, the white from The Office vibe. Remember, it's like the fire drill. Like that's the one of the funniest.
If you guys have not watched The Office, you guys gotta go watch The Office. That is a funny ass show.
Yes.
Which fire was when he was doing the fire drill?
Yes. When he said, you know what? Oh, PowerPoints are not.
So here's the fun. Okay, I'm gonna briefly explain this clip. Okay, Dwight is in charge of teaching the whole office safety tips, and one tip was about fire drills, and he shows a PowerPoint to them. He was saying how he showed a PowerPoint presentation to everybody in the office and nobody listened, and then he was like, PowerPoints are stupid. We're gonna do, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna do a live reenactment of a fire drill. So he starts a fucking fire in the office. He starts a fire in the office.
Yeah.
And now everyone's fucking worried. And then at the end, he's like, "This is just a simulation, everybody. There was no actual fire." When there's literally a clip of him starting a fire.
You know what's funny too? I wonder has someone got a heart attack? Oh, because like they thought they just see a person and that scared them.
Yeah, and I feel like that would be funny as hell too. But
That'd
like
be
that,
sad.
I was doing my research. No injuries, no fatalities were occurred during this so-called invasion of Cape Elizabeth, Maine.
Also, another thing too, like it makes sense because like I'm being honest with you, like sometimes feel like I see things or I hear things when I'm in mid sleep. At the same time, I don't know if I'm dreaming or I'm about to dream and stuff like that.
Here's the thing with me when I'm sleeping. When I'm sleep, I'm a heavy sleeper, so most likely I don't wake up in the middle of the night. I sometimes I do. Like I have to wake up at like 5 a.m. for school, and sometimes I can wake up before my alarm. And if I wake up before my alarm, that's impressive. That means that means I went to bed too early.
No, that means you have a good amount of sleep, dude.
No, that means I went to bed too early.
No, that's
I want to wake up. I want my alarm to wake me up. Okay? Like half of me wants my alarm to wake me up, the other half of me does not want my alarm to wake me up. So, either I slept too early or like you said, I got a good amount of sleep. If I woke up and saw this guy looking at me in my face. First of all, we have a bunk bed. Okay?
They don't need to know our business. They don't need to know.
Too bad. I'm letting them know. I'm not gonna tell them where we. At least I'm not saying, "Oh, we live in this place," but we have a bunk bed. Okay, we used to have a regular bed, but our mother was like, "I'm gonna get you guys a bunk bed."
Junior, this is TMI. You know,
Julie, no. Let me just. This is not TMI. This is not TMI. TMI. Okay, just let me continue. Okay, we have a bunk bed. All right.
I'm 22-year-old sharing a bunk bed with a 17-year-old. This is sad.
So what, Julie? I'm living out my childhood dream right now. I don't care how old I am.
I overgrew that childhood dream.
I don't care how old am I. You never overgrow a childhood dream. You can never overgrow.
I always wanted a twin. You see that happening anytime soon?
I mean, you kind of do have twins. You have 3 sisters with the same last name as you.
I mean, you ain't lying, and we do look alike.
And you all, yeah, exactly. Just because you guys weren't, and the funny thing is, you guys weren't born on the same day. You guys weren't born on the same day at the same year. You guys have that's impressive. That's all I'm going to say. But yeah. And, I'm sleeping on the top bed. Mm-hmm. I'm just imagining waking up. I'm about to go get myself ready for school. And I'm looking down at that guy looking at me right now.
How? You sleep on the top bunk, though.
He can climb the ladder and be like, hello. he can just, like, I'm waking up. Like, I'm freaking... This is why I used to sleep next to my ladder. This is why I don't sleep next to my ladder. That's probably one of the reasons. After reading this case, I was like, no.
See, it's like I said before, because, like, it might be even sleep paralysis, too, because, like, one time...
That's actually a theory I didn't even think of. Yeah, it could be sleep paralysis.
Because, like, one time... Yeah, like you said before, it might be hysteria too. Because, like, if you keep seeing on the news about this person, okay, you gotta think about it. For instance, because me, I used to watch and listen to creepypasta. I stopped doing that. Slenderman. I used to like hear stories about Slenderman, and then I stopped. I stopped because, like, I don't know why. One night, I keep having dreams about him. One time, I had this dream where I couldn't move. I couldn't really talk, and he was just standing in the corner of the bed, which it did scare me, but at the same time, that could have been a thing because they just seen it so many times before.
Mm-hmm. But yeah.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, this case remains unsolved, and most likely it will never be solved.
Yeah, because it sounds so dumb. Like, I feel like you're right. The police probably made it up. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. All right.
But moral of the story is lock your fucking doors in. That's the moral of the story. Just lock your doors.
You know what?
And your windows too. I was reading, and it also said he stuck through your windows.
No, not
lock your doors and windows.
Not even that's how I heard.
Not even that. Just fucking get a security system, though. That's it. That's it.
Yes,
just get a security system.
I heard a lot of serial killers. That's how they enter too, like windows and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
When I was in my dorm, I used to lock my doors all the time when I used to, like, live on campus. Like, I used to lock the door every time I go to sleep. So it's a habit you guys should have. It's common sense. So.
Yeah, it is common sense. But guys, thank you for listening to our very first episode. Our next episode, I posted a poll on the True Crime Instagram page, and most of you guys said you guys want to hear about a murder So what better way to hear about a murderer
Dun, dun,
than
dun.
a serial killer? That's it, guys. And
Ooh,
hey,
nice.
and here's a hint. Here's a hint. This is not a famous serial killer. So it's not Zodiac. It's not the Axeman. It's not the Phantom Killer.
Or Jack the Ripper.
It's not Jack the Ripper. I'm saving those. I'm saving those. Those are one of the best ones. I'm not gonna save those for like later episodes. I'm just gonna let you know. But this first episode, it's not any of them. So don't think of a famous serial killer. Just
You know what's interesting?
I'll say this though. This serial killer was probably this is probably it's a serial killer after Zodiac. I'll say that timeline wise.
Well, like one of my serial killer I'm interested in is the BTK killer, because it's so funny how we put security cams just so we don't get hurt. Mind you, it's the guy too, but that's another story you can tell. All right.
But yeah, all right, guys. So thank you guys for listening to our very first episode of the podcast. Hope you guys enjoy it. Please let us some comments down below, some questions. We can probably get some answers out of them through the comment section. And until then, see you guys next time.
Peace.